shit, you know? Talk about, you know, the type of clippers I use, you know, some of the stuff that I've experienced that may be dope or irritating or whatever. And I guess talk about things that I could tell an aspiring barber or someone who's interested in cutting their own hair, and maybe a little bit about how I feel about the barber industry in response to how people complain about increased prices on haircuts. First, I would want to talk about the first set of clippers that I've ever used were some Remington clippers that I got from, I think I got it from Ross or something. I thought I was doing something with those too. I didn't really know how to fade, really. I just wanted to cut my own hair, and it took a while. It took like maybe 2 or 3 years for me to actually really cut my hair in a way where if I walk outside, it's okay. Like, it's presentable. I didn't really get really good clippers until I started doing mobile cuts last year. I was during the summer, like maybe June, July, around that time. Yeah, my cuts were trash. My favorite part of a cut currently is the fade. I like fading. I tend to pay attention to the details in everything, especially when it comes to a cut. And even more specifically when it comes to the fade, because if you have a trash fade, then what's the point of getting a haircut? At least that's what I think. Was I good at it before when I first got into the barbershop? No, I was not. Thinking back to how I cut before compared to now, yeah, I sucked at the beginning, and I'm better now, definitely better. Am I at my best? No, but I definitely am close, I feel. But that's also the confidence speaking. So I'll show y'all pictures so that y'all can judge for yourself. The most challenging hair texture for the most part is fine hair. This is Omar. This is Vic.
Can I pop in?
Yes, you can. I feel that barbers have a lot more value than people think, from helping people get jobs to helping people find partners. And, you know, because the world operates on aesthetics, someone having a barber and them giving you an amazing haircut takes you very far. And sometimes I get a little irritated about people who complain about prices, because inflation happens, and that's the reason why prices go up. At the end of the day, I feel like if you can't afford a $25 hair, you probably need to reevaluate the way that you make income. And then also, you're more than welcome to cut your own hair. And keep in mind that you most likely will fuck up the first few, maybe the first 10, 20 times that you cut your own hair. And you'll have to go to a barber to fix it. Just keep that in mind if you are one of the people who complain about haircut prices. Because I knew when I felt, at one point, I'm not even gonna lie, I started first off at barber schools. And most of the barber schools are filled with people who've already been cutting hair for some years, and they just want to get their license. So most of the time I was getting really amazing haircuts for like $5 at barber schools. Then, of course, I ended up having to find a barber outside of maybe a barber school I went to when I was going to Georgia State, following off of Callan Road. He was cutting my hair for about $20, $25, and he started, you know, slowly increasing the price. And it got to a point where I was just like, I don't know, bruh. You know, I don't know if your cuts are worth that much. I think I'm going to just probably not come to you anymore. I'll probably start cutting my own hair, or just budget for your cuts. And it got to a point where I ended up starting to cut my own hair, and I was not good at it for a while, to the point where Ronnie was like, cut that shit off. Like, go to a barber and get that shit cut properly. And I didn't budge from that, because I was just like, I want to master actually doing this shit. And eventually it got to a point where I ended up cutting my hair pretty decently. I'm glad that I stuck to it, because it actually got me to a point where, you know, I was telling people I was cutting my own hair, and they was like, oh, would you cut my hair? And then I started cutting other people's hair, and mind you, I wasn't good, but people still kept wanting me to cut their hair. So I think I felt more confident when my brother and my cousin Young were more comfortable with letting me cut their hair, and I guess it was up from there. I appreciate anybody who allows me to cut their hair, and they don't know what they're gonna end up with, especially when it comes to a new barber. But because I'm the type of person that I am, I try my best to learn very quickly and apply what I learn. I don't think that people should complain about price increases because at the end of the day, a good haircut gets you very far, especially men. And y'all know that. Y'all know that for sure. So if y'all can't pay $25, $35, $45, maybe $50 for a haircut, and women are out here paying $300, $400, $500, shit, $1,000 plus, people are paying about $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to get wigs. People are getting their hair cut and retwisted for way more than what you're paying for, and you're complaining about certain prices. It just doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these barbers are now charging $100 plus a cut because they've been in the game for a while and they know their worth. So even with me, eventually, I believe by the end of the year, I can comfortably say I'm gonna charge $50, maybe $60 a haircut. Can't afford that, then, you know, I think you should probably get in cuts before they, you know, the price increases. What would I say to an aspiring barber? I'm pretty much new, and I guess from what I have experienced thus far, I feel that one, proper money management is definitely key to making sure that you are not overspending, and just budgeting for this shit, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of cash in hand, and if you don't know how to manage your money, it's gonna be leaving your hands very quickly. Very quickly. Proper money management, that's the most important thing that I would say to an aspiring barber. I would say, if you feel you are ready, get into a barbershop immediately, because that's where you really learn how to cut for real, for real. I'm sure if I wasn't in a barbershop right now, I wouldn't know how to cut the way that I know how to cut now. It probably would have taken me longer. But it gives you the opportunity to see more of the senior barbers doing their thing, doing different styles, and just watching different techniques, because every barber cuts differently. You can pick up some things, apply it to what you got, and create your own vibe when it comes to cuts. So having a car is vital, because if you can't get to the barbershop, or if you can't drive to a mobile appointment, then you'll have to take Lyft, and that shit gets expensive and is complicated and limits the amount of money that you can make. If a barber makes themselves more available than everybody in the barbershop, your clientele will probably, you know, increase very quickly. At least that's what I've been told, and that's what I've been experiencing. So I've made myself available for this shit for about maybe like 6 months, and I can see my own personal improvement, just because of the simple fact that I be here, just chilling. Get great clippers. It's gonna be an investment. Invest in brands like Wahl, and Fabulous, Gamma. But yeah, invest in your equipment. Like, get you some nice clippers, get you some nice trimmers. Started off with 1 clipper, 1 trimmer. Now I have 2 clippers, 3 trimmers. So I have these joints right here. I have this right here, Fabulous trimmers, Wahl razor edgers. These hit so damn far. These are great. I love these. And I like that the blade is shorter than the other trimmers that I have. Sometimes I feel like these are better for me to use on kids, because like the space between the corner of the hairline and the eyebrow be real short for kids. So like a shorter blade for trimmers, you should definitely get one. These trimmers, they hit so nice. And they don't hurt as bad as maybe the other ones may. And I like that the blade is like really wide. And these are very powerful. If you don't get them modified, they overheat and then they stop working until they cool off. So also modify these too. I got these Oster Classic 76s. I like these because they knock off a shit ton of hair very quickly. And because I know for a fact that most niggas don't comb their hair, this is great for them. Like, it'll cut through all the bullshit. Definitely get one of these. It'll definitely help the cutting process as far as, like, you know, speed. Just getting through cuts very quickly. Also, a close shaver. These are great for people who prefer a real close shave for their facial hair and for bald-headed guys. So I love this because it makes the skin real smooth, and gets real close without hurting your client. And yeah, so definitely invest in great equipment. When it comes to booth rent, you're gonna go to a barbershop. If you want to cut there, you're obviously gonna have to pay booth rent. So don't do commission based, because at the end of the day, if you're making the money, they're gonna be taking a whole chunk of your money out if you decide to do commission based. I would say do a flat rate per week when it comes to booth rent. Like right now, I'm currently paying $100. Initially, I was not paying anything for about a month, maybe 2, and then they started, implementing the booth rent here. I think with newer barbershops, they try to be lenient when it comes to that. And then eventually they get to a point where they increase your booth rent every month, and then they cap it off sometimes at like $200. So the more skills that you have, especially when it comes to hair and barbering, the more money you'll be able to make, the busier your chair will be, like at the end of the day. If you want to cut hair or if you want to do hair, I also encourage you to get a barber license. That's what I'm doing right now. I plan on getting my barber's license. I also may either get my instructor's license or my Cosmo license. If you have your license, then you'll be able to cut hair on, television and film sets, and get paid thousands of dollars for that one day or a slew of days that you're doing hair there. On top of the fact that you'll have your own clientele that you'll be cutting. So, hey, this industry is dope, and people are making between $15 and $200+ cutting hair. So, hey, know your worth. Yeah. Again, I'm AUDIADASOUND, aka Durag Shawty, and this is the Adventures of Durag Shawty. Bye.